Good morning. Arthur Offerty, ASNI-TV. This is a statement to the prosecutor of the War Crimes Commission in The Hague, and Mr. M.P. Dillon. He is head of the Information and Evidence Unit. Now, I could not believe the contents of your letter that I received on Monday, the 6th of the 10th, 2014, stating that my father, Arthur Offerty Sr., who was brutally murdered by a Sinn Féin IRA informer who was employed by the British government, also the FRU, that is a unit of the British Army, also the RUC PSNI and the Special Branch. This informer, called Freddie Scappaticci, brutally murdered my father with the full knowledge of the British government, the RUC PSNI and the Special Branch. Now, your letter states that his case falls outside the jurisdiction of the court and the Rome Statute, Articles 6 to 8, namely genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. First, let me explain to you that my father was murdered by the Sinn Féin IRA, who were at war in Northern Ireland at that time. My father was taken out of a pub in North Belfast on the 15th of August 1974 by a five-man gang of Sinn Féin IRA. My father was unarmed and classified as a war criminal according to the Geneva Conventions. Prisoners of war should be treated with respect at all times. My father was shot 5 times in the back and died. So much for your Geneva Convention. The Sinn Féin IRA murderer of my father is guilty of many untold murders of innocent victims, and the British state knew what was going on and allowed it to happen. Now, Freddie Scappaticci was charged in the High Courts in Belfast of perjury by the Chief Constable Sir Q. Ord. But the British government stepped in and he walked away free, no charge. I have pursued this murder for over 40 years, but the British state, the RUC PSNI and the Special Branch will not charge him or even arrest him, and allows him to carry on murdering innocent victims in this sham of a war. I have asked my MPs, my MLAs, my MEPs and my councillors for help, but got no help from any of them. After all, they all work for the British government who pay their wages, so why should they help me? I thought by coming to the War Crimes Commission I would get some justice for my father's murder. My father was murdered by Sinn Féin IRA, who were, I say again, who were at war. So my father's death was a war crime. You don't have to be Einstein to know that and to work that one out. Yet your prosecutor says it is not a war crime. My mother was put out of her home in North Belfast by a Sinn Féin IRA random mob. My brother, his wife and 2 children were also put out of his house in North Belfast by an IRA random mob. But my brother and his family were also put out of the country by Sinn Féin IRA. Yet your prosecutor says it is not a crime of genocide. If that's not a crime of genocide, I don't know what is. Or even a crime against humanity. Now, I want your prosecutor to have another look at my case, as I think he has made a grave mistake. First of all, my father was murdered during a war, so it is a war crime by a gang that were at war. Second, my mother and my brother and his family and 2 children were put out of the country. That is genocide. And put them all together and you get crimes against humanity. Surely you can see that. Surely that falls into the jurisdiction of the court and the Rome Statute, Articles 6 to 8, namely war crimes, genocide and crimes against humanity. And I cannot see how you can say that they are not. I run the Arthur Offerty Foundation, a victims group in honour of my father. I have at least 25 innocent victims who have been murdered in our so-called sham of a war by Sinn Féin IRA, by the RUC PSNI and the British Army and loyalist groups. And I am ready to forward them to the War Crimes Commission. But seeing that the treatment you give me, I'm wondering, will it be worth my while to build the hopes up of these innocent people, these people who were brutally murdered for no sense of their own? I just hope that the British state has not been in contact with the War Crimes Commission and put pressure on you not to help me, as they are well capable of that. I would not like to think that the War Crimes Commission would roll over. I'll say that again, would roll over for the British government, to appease the British government. I promised my father that I would sort his murder out, and I hope I can depend on you people to help me, as the British government has offered me no help at all, and us has that British puppets here we have in Stormont. If the prosecutor would like me to fly over to see him, I would be willing to go. Hoping to hear from you soon. If I don't hear from you soon, then I will know that the corrupt British government has paid you a visit, and I will go to London myself to confront Scappaticci and his army minders and sort this matter out once and for all. Now, anyone who would like a copy of this tape or any one of my stories can call me on my mobile 07715 921137. Leave your name and address and I will send you a tape free. Thank you. Anyone who has a story to tell me and wishes me to air it can call me on my mobile 07715 921137, or I can send a reporter out to get your story. And remember, I will tell your story as you tell me. Nothing will be cut out. Watch more of my stories on YouTube, ArthurRafferty.com, YouTube Arthur Rafferty, Arthur Rafferty Docker, YouTube Jackspot 2012. That is a tape of the murder of my father by Sinn Féin IRA, Scappaticci and a 5-man gang that they watched over by the British Army, by the RUC Special Branch. My email is arthurrafferty1@gmail.com. Thank you for watching my ASNI TV, and I will see you soon. Good morning.